Today in the Router Workshop, Part 2 of the pediment mirror. Router expert Bob Rosendahl cuts and molds the intricate swan neck design, while Rick welcomes a special guest, expert wood turner Ed Tabachuk, to demonstrate turning the finial. All on Part 2 of the pediment mirror, today in the Router Workshop.
Welcome to the Router Workshop, and this is the last part to our swan neck pediment mirror.
Yes, it is.
And what are you doing today, Dad?
Well, it consists of a few moldings here, Rick, and I have to cut them to size and mold them. We got several bit changes to make in here, and then we'll put it all together. But look at it, how it comes apart there.
Oh, it's
not
going to be
much
nice.
material.
It'll be nice.
Lots of work.
And we have a special treat today. We have Ed Tabachuk, one of the people that we consider an expert at lathe work, is going to show us how to make the finial. I'm going to take this out of the way, and you get started. All right.
Well, first off, what we're going to do here is talk a little bit about our design here as we go along. We'll come back to what I had here. This was our board in the back, and that was our top piece of the mirror. And you can see I've got this laid out. So now we've got to do is make the base piece for it. So we're going to come along here, we'll get the base piece. And you'll notice I've got them longer, but we're going to have to miter them off. And then the second part that goes on top of that comes in part in here. So what we're doing is stacking moldings. And so what I need to do is get them to size first. So that's my first operation. And starting with that first operation, I've got a bit chucked up in the router here. And it is a flush trim bit. It's got a bearing on the top. And I'll raise that up here, and we'll pick up that. And we're going to trim that all to size in it. We're going to come in here, and that bearing will follow right along the side. And remember, when we do this, we've got some short grain in here, so we don't want to feed it too fast. And what we're also going to use is a safety pin. And we'll put it in this side, and this will probably make it a little easier for you to have a look. And I'm going to come in here and pop that around. And we're going to have quite a few changes here to make, so we'll get at it. Okay, we got some power going.
After cutting the pieces for one side to shape, Dad flipped the pattern over and shaped the pieces for the other side. He then chucked up the dish bit and cut the first layer of the molding.
So there's that first dish cut that we've got in it. Now we've got to make another mold on top of that, but we'll do the curvature ones first. And having to do that, we're going to need a guide, because it doesn't have a pilot on that bit. It'll take a big diameter if it did. Better take my brush here, brush a little debris away, and we're going to have to set that up again, so we'll set that in, put that back in, and let me get my 1/2 inch guide in here. I'll show you what it looks like here in just 1 second. Pop it in. Usually it takes longer to figure out how to do these things than it does to do them, really. There's the bit now, and the bit's running free in the guide. So in order to get that next operation in here, I'll just set that back in it. What we're going to do is go back to these, and then we'll go to the other one. And we'll do one here. Tap these nails back down. This will be our pattern now. And our pattern, get it flipped up the right direction here. We'll do, doesn't matter which one we do, left or right. We'll tack that in here. Now this is that swan neck side of it. Just about there we need it. And we'll pick that up in here. We'll Tap that down. Nick another nail in the end here and give us a little stability. Now, I'm just going to have a look at what I got in here. I think that's just about what I need there, but just going to take it up just a shade in it, just about like that. Should be good. What's going to happen in here, that's going to follow that guide, and we'll be able to cut that in there. And it's pretty stable because of the shape of it in here. Let's plug that in and see what we got. Okay, now that's our base mold. We'll take that off, and now we can change cutters again. We got run with the dish one, we got the straight one done, we got two base swan neck ones done. We're done with these patterns. Unplug the router, and we may as well sweep the bench off. Keep it clean. Pop it back up. I locked that real tight in it, and we'll take the guide out, and we'll change cutters, and then we'll just show you which cutter we got in here in just 1 second. Pop it in here. I say I get more chances to change router bits than most people. Now this time in here, what we're going to do is I'm going to use a Roman OG bit first, and then I come back to a classical bit, so we'll set this up. It'll be a little difficult to set this for height because we took out some of our material, so we're going to be up high in here. When I say we're going to be up high, we want to put that on the end of this, and we want to get a little line in it, so I'm going to tap that back down here, and right about there, I think. That should work just about right in there. We'll lock it in. Now, come across in here. What I'm going to do is I got some holes in here for our safety pins so you can see a little better. I'll flip it right there, and I'll put the pin in this side, and we'll get some power here.
Next, Dad chucked up the classical cutter and began to cut the last shape to create the stacked molding.
So see, there's the mold we got on the inside edge. Now we need to round the other one. This time we got to go the opposite. So let's get these paired up again. That one don't match on side of that one very good, does it? Now they make it look pretty crude, doesn't it? So then you set it in here, line it up. And you might wonder why I got a long tail over there. Well, we got to cut a 45 back, and the first ones I made them too short, so then I had to get longer ones, you see. Now we got to go back to the other pair. So we'll lay them aside, and we'll go to this one. Flip it upside down, and this is the edge we need to do. So we need to do this edge to match into this one in here. Let's run that one now. Find the switch here and get it on. Okay. Now, one more bit change. We got to round those little edges over. We get our little brush here. This time I'm using a 3/16 round over, just enough to break the corner off, more or less. Take that apart. Take the pin out for now. Change the router bit. one's a 1/4 inch shank on it, so I've got a sleeve to go in there. Shim the chuck up. And this time we just want to expose the full round of it. So we'll take that in there like that. Just let you have a peek here. I'll rotate that bit, and you can see then here that it's just a round over bit. But this time I got the shoulder down below in here, so it's just kind of flush at it. We'll lock it up there tight. Put it back in. And we'll use the pin again. Safety pin goes in there. And we need some power. And here we go.
Today we got one of the most talented wood turners that I know of, and he's going to show us how to make that fennel on the top of our mirror. Ed, what are we going to do?
All right, well, first of all, we're going to decide that we need some sort of a decoration on the top of the mirror to sort of set it off and to help draw our eye upward.
Right.
It's a more traditional mirror, so we're going to use a more traditional looking finial.
Okay.
Now, I've started out by making a sketch of what we want here. These will traditionally have a bit of wood on the top to look like a flame.
Right.
And then that's going to sit on top of an urn or vase shape, a little base to it, and while we're turning it, we'll put the pin in that's going to attach it to the base of the mirror, so that we can do this whole operation in one.
Excellent, excellent.
Now, from this is a sketch. We've just sketched this out, and we said this is the kind of thing we want. From here, we will make ourselves a half drawing.
Okay.
The center line of the finial runs through here. This is about full size. So from here, we'll decide how much we want to space we want to devote to the finial, to the flame, and then how much to the vase, and then how much to the base.
Super. Looks like you've got it all marked out already.
That's right. This is the fun part really comes when we put the tool to the wood, and it's hard to resist getting onto that fun part. So this only takes a couple of minutes, but believe me, this saves us a lot of time in the end.
Excellent.
It's good to work this out so that we know where we're going. From this little sketch, we'll make ourselves a story stick, and that is we'll transfer our lines to this little stick, and that's going to tell us where the important parts are on our turning.
Okay.
This will be used when we put the wood on the lathe to mark out, and this has the diameters on it that we've already decided from our sketch that this is how big these parts need to be.
That's excellent.
Now, we're going to use walnut for our final finial.
Right.
But it helps to start out with something less expensive, just to try it out and to practice it, to see what the proportions are and to get used to working with the tools. In our area, we're using a piece of inexpensive birch here, but in other parts of the country, people will have some local wood that will work just as well.
I'd probably want to do, if I was doing this, I'd be wanting to do the first time because I couldn't get the next one exactly the same.
Well, that's right. We want to get down to doing the fun part again, but it does help to mess around with this. And this, by the way, gives us more chance to stand at the lathe and do this turning, the fun part.
Okay.
Now, the block of wood is being marked out. We've marked the centers on both ends, and I've taken my drive center, a 4-prong drive center, and I've driven it into the end of the block of wood with a mallet. So this drive center goes in the headstock, and our tailstock drive center has a set of ball bearings in it, so that's going to revolve with the piece of wood, and that goes into the tailstock. Now we'll set our piece of wood between, we'll pull up our tailstock, make sure that our drive points are in the little cuts, and we'll turn up the tailstock so that it's set between centers. We'll tighten the shaft, and we'll set our tool rest for height, and we'll
Is that set above center or below center?
just about center line.
Okay.
For me, it's not that critical, but some people like it a little bit above and a little bit below.
Okay, so that's
But if it was set at center line, you can't go wrong.
right on.
I'm going to use a roughing gouge to take off the bulk of this wood here.
Okay.
I'll start at this end. I tilt my fingers up to deflect some of the chips as they come off so they don't end up flying up into the shade. On a small piece of wood like this is quite easy and quite safe to do. Now we're going to, first of all, check our widest diameter, which is at the base. So we'll set our calipers to that dimension,
Right.
and I'll see how far away we are from being finished with this part in here. We may as well, there, that's done.
Boy, that looks easy.
So far.
Okay.
Did you have fun yet?
I'm having lots of fun.
Okay, now we'll use our story stick, we'll place it on the tool rest here, and we'll mark out the important dimensions. Some of these marks will come away as I make further cuts and further dimensions to it. But by having a story stick like this, I can bring it back as I need it, and we'll
Right.
set other dimensions.
Set it up again, right?
Now this is where the tenon's going to be that will hold this onto the rest
So
of the
you
mirror.
work that out so you have a little length on it?
That's right. This is going to be the widest part. This will
Right.
be the curve
Okay.
at the base. The next dimension that we want to set is going to be this one here, and that we'll use this set of calipers, and we'll draw them in a little bit.
So we're done with this one now, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So now I can take off this much wood down here.
This is the
Okay.
part we're looking for now.
That's
here.
right. We're going to do this one right here.
Right, okay.
Let's make sure I get the right one.
And everything above that is smaller then, right?
That's right. The next part we're going to take it down to is going to be the diameter
Diameter of the flame.
Well, I know that from the maximum diameter here on up, everything that needs
It's going to be smaller.
it's going to be smaller and can be
Right.
taken away. Now we're done with that tool. We'll just
That's the
put
roughing gouge,
the
right?
roughing gouge.
Right.
They're not essential. You can do the same thing with a spindle tool,
Right.
but it might take a little bit longer, and this just peels the wood off like that.
Right.
We're going to move our tool rest in a little bit closer so that
Okay.
we again have good support right up at the tool edge. We don't end up with our fingers poked down through there. The next tool I'm going to need is the skew.
All right.
And what I like to do with this thing is to set it up over here, like this, so that
How about I just hold it?
that'll be good, so that I have an idea of what we're heading for, because I can sight down across the top of the wood over to the sample.
Oh, okay. That's a tip. That looks like a tip. I would never have thought of that.
If you don't have one of these turned, then you go back to our sketch, our
Sketch it.
drawing.
Put your sketch there.
Put your sketch there.
Right.
Now I'm going to use a small gouge to take off some of this extra material here.
Okay.
But I'll return to that skew to make the finishing cuts on it. Now you can see it start to take shape. And now we're done with that. And with that, we'll leave this much material here now to keep it from vibrating.
Okay.
But we'll come to that'll be one of the last things we finish off up there.
Okay.
Now we're going to go to this point right here, and we want this is going to be our edge. We'll save that with a pencil line, and this is where we're going to make our curve. The widest part of this vase shape is here, and that's where this little blurry pencil line is.
Okay.
So I'm going to use my 1/2-inch spindle gouge to take out most of the material here, working from one side and then the other side. Now we're going to open up this area here, which is going to make the waist
Okay.
of this part. So I'll start out with using my skew to cut in from two sides. Again, we've marked our widest point here, which we want to preserve. So we'll work from there
Back.
now we'll work from there down. And from here down. good. They're very nice. A nice round but uplifted shape. There.
Excellent.
We've put a little shoulder, a little bit of detail there, and I can add that by using my one of the parting tools here, and we'll just take this material away until we make a shoulder like that, and then we'll come back and round this off into the base of there. Like that.
Perfect.
Not quite, not quite. It's these final cuts where we run into problems. We'll say, we'll just make one last cut. This is not, I'll just make one last cut, and that's the one
That's
that
the one
catches.
that catches, and that's when
Yeah.
you're done. That's when you get to start over
We
again.
start
huh?
over again after that, yes. Now we're going to go off to the front end here and take a little bit more off of here.
Right.
Before I finally part this all off, we can do our sanding on it.
Okay.
This is really well finished as it is. There are little bumps
Right.
left over from the tools, but it'd be nice to smooth that out. There's no torn grains, so we don't have to do a lot of sanding, but we could start with...
Okay. What
with-
grit do you start with?
I'm going to start with 150.
Yeah.
We're going to go to 180 and maybe 220.
Okay.
And for a nice piece of
Move
walnut
this out of the
like
way
this, we can perhaps even go to 320. But right now we'll just work at this with a little bit of 150. This shape has turned out really nicely here. This is really good shape. Once we're finished with the sanding, we can even do finishing on the lathe by putting
Oh, you
on...
could probably have all the finish and have it completely done.
Absolutely. We'll put a little bit of a shellac, a French polish on this.
Yeah.
It'd be in perfect keeping with the style of furniture and the
Right.
type of material. And
This is the kind of thing that finishes off that piece of furniture that you're doing.
absolutely. This is 180. I won't do the rest of it because it's still more of the same.
Well, there you have it, folks. Ed Tabachak showing us how to use the lathe, doing a great job.
Now it's time for Tips from the Workshop, Viewer Mail, and Tricks of the Trade on Router Bits, Tips, and Wood Chips.
Tip this time is cutting 45s on our regular shaped pieces. And you want to flip it over here so we can see it. We want to do this safely. So to do that safely, we're using our table saw. We've put a strip mounted onto our piece that fits into the miter gauge of the table saw. We've set up our pieces so that we can clamp them in solidly so we can make that 45 cut. Now to take that so we can set that up, we'll set our pieces aside here. What we've done is taken a framing square and set them up on equal sides. And in this case here, use 12 and 12 to mark your 45-degree. Mount your two side pieces in place, put your mounted pieces on the side, and you've got a chute board to cut a regular shaped 45s. Hey, did you see that? Tell you what, I couldn't do that.
Did you do it with the router?
No.
you got fancy,
We got an
didn't you?
expert that showed us how to do it with a lathe. I'm telling
Fantastic.
you, that's awesome work. So let's finish putting this together here now.
I'll
What
tell
did
you
you
what,
do?
these are the moldings I've got for over here, Rick.
I brought these two little pieces here that we
Okay.
need.
And let's put these outside ones on first.
Right.
And the tricky part's going to be in here is once you get these glued up in here, we have to miter them
Right.
and get them to fit in it. So there, I'm going to slide that piece back over.
There, and we got
There.
this piece in here,
Uh,
and this one
this
goes
one's
like
on
that. And
you can just lift that off if you want to show them there. how
and
it
this is
goes.
where the fennel goes.
And then to make these left and right that I talked about, this
Right.
one goes on this side and this one. The
And
reason
that'll-
for these long tails was
This is
because we have
45,
to cut
that's
them.
going in place.
See? We've
And there's
also got
there's
these.
the pieces that tie into it.
We'd like to hear from you. You can email us at routerworkshop@pbs.org or send your comments, questions, or project ideas to The Router Workshop, Post Office Box 608, Chamberlain, South Dakota, 57325. Or in Canada, to The Router Workshop, Post Office Box 280, Ely, Manitoba, ROHOHO. To learn more about The Router Workshop, visit PBS online at the internet address on your screen.
That's it for today, folks. We'll be back next time with another interesting project right here in the Router Workshop.
In our next episode of the Router Workshop, the Stilt Cabinet, a unique and challenging project. Router expert Bob Rosendahl will show you how to use a pattern to drill matching holes for the adjustable shelves, while Rick shows you a shop-made fixture designed to drill bolt holes in the legs to attach them to the cabinet. That's the Stilt Cabinet, next time in the Router Workshop. To order Router Projects and Jigs, a book that details the plans for 37 different router projects, many router jigs, and tips on how to use your router from Bob and Rick Rosendahl, call 1-888-252-0225.
This is PBS.
Here's what's coming up next on PBSU Lifestyle Learning. PBSU is dedicated to the enrichment of our viewers' lives and is made possible by your support of your local PBS station. You're watching PBSU Lifestyle Learning.